If you could hear dirt whisper, tonight you'd hear it scream. Listen close, because this is the tale of a city that forgot how to shine, and the tiny 3D heroes who remembered for all of us. At 2:13 a.m., when most lights were off and the moon was the only night watchman, the grime on the pavement yawned wide like a lazy cat. It had been a heavy week. Sneaker streaks, soda spills, bubblegum galaxies fused to bus stop glass. Somewhere between the last delivery van and the first singing sparrow, the city sighed and said, "I can't do this alone." That's when the grate on Sewer 9A rattled, then clicked, then opened like a secret hatch on a spaceship. Out rolled a chrome marble the size of an apple. It hummed, sighed, then blinked. One eye, blue and bright. "Hello?" the marble chirped. "I am BB1, initiating Sparkle Protocol." A second marble rolled up beside it, then a third, then 20. They lined the curb like pearls on a necklace and looked up at the moon as if to say, "You too, watch this." With a soft whoomp, the first marble popped into its true form. 3 legs like suction cup stilts, a telescope snout, a halo ring that spun slow and steady. The Bubblebots were awake. They talked in polite beeps and dazzling foam. BB3 took the gum constellations, dropping a micro-bubble that sang in a tiny soprano before it bloomed, loosened the pink fossil and lifted it clean. BB7 waltzed along a puddle rainbow, sipped up oil slicks, and burped a prism. BB1, their captain, pulsed a soft beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, and the whole squad synced like a dance crew taking the stage. From the neon noodle shop to the chalk-covered plaza, the Bubblebots danced. They didn't march, they moved, swivel twist hop, letting rhythm guide bristles and brushes. They swirled around lampposts until each bulb remembered how to glow. They polished manhole covers till they wore the moon like a borrowed crown. They ran along bench slats in perfect zigzag rows, leaving trails so even the pigeons paused and tilted their heads as if applauding. At 2:33 a.m., trouble blinked awake. It started as a smudge. Then the smudge became a smear, then the smear bunched and buckled. And what rose from the alley was a tall, tar-black ribbon shaped like a question mark. "I am Drip," it gurgled, voice like a sink backing up. "And I prefer things murky." Grime has 2 superpowers, stick and spread. With a flick, Drip tossed a net of mud toward the bubble parade. BB12 jumped first, snapping a foam dome over the squad. The net slapped the dome, hissed and steamed and tried to chew its way in. "Hold!" chirped BB1. BB8 rotated its halo ring faster. "Fwip, fwip, fwip!" And the foam dome hardened like glass. The mud net slid off. The alley air smelled like rain. Drip slithered, elongated, and slammed a road cone into a billboard like a cranky conductor. The city blinked. "Stop shining," Drip snarled. "People hide mess in the dark. People also dance in the light," replied BB1, and the Bubblebots broke formation. This was no tidy cleanup. This was choreography. BB2 launched a ribbon of bubbles that laddered up a fire escape, each bubble reflecting a tiny city, turning the metal into a mirror staircase. BB5 slid across a greasy pizza box and spun it like a DJ record, the cardboard squealing into a squeaky, giggly melody. BB9 hopped into a gutter and drew a glowing line that zipped under the street, then popped up far away like a magician's handkerchief. The city woke a little. A baker switching on at 3 a.m. pressed his nose to the window as a Bubblebot spiraled over a flour dusting and left a perfect clean circle like a moon phase. A taxi driver on the graveyard shift slowed at a red light to watch a curb become a lake of glass. So clean, the taillights looked like tulips. A night nurse finishing her rounds sat on a bench that whispered a thank you through varnish and polish. Drip swelled. "Enough," it rumbled, face stretching into a dozen frowns. It hurled a wave down Main Street. Dark, thick, full of old gum and wet flyers and everything we dump when we think no one's watching. BB1 inhaled. "Squad," it chirped. "Sparkle Storm." Every BubbleBot lifted its halo. The rings revved, then blurred, then sang. Harmonics you feel first in your teeth and then in your ribs, a hummingbird choir of clean. The storm rose. A spiral galaxy of micro-bubbles threading themselves into a giant helix that hovered above the street. BB-1 dove through it. The helix ignited, not with fire, but with clarity. You could see your reflection in the air. The bubble galaxy swallowed the wave, drank the mud, and lifted Drip off the asphalt. For a second, Drip looked smaller, almost child-sized. A collection of spilled sodas and rainy days and footprints from a parade that never got swept. "I don't want to disappear," Drip whispered. "Neither do we," BB-1 said gently. "Shine is not erasing. Shine is remembering what you are under the mess." The helix loosened. The waves settled. Drip slumped into a puddle that was no longer black, but a deep lake blue. BB-7 tapped its halo and released a single bubble that hovered like a lantern above the puddle's surface. "When you're ready," BB-7 beeped, "join us. The city always needs both shadow and shine." By 4:37 a.m., the BubbleBots had rewritten the sidewalks. The plaza stones held the stars like bowls. The window glass didn't just reflect, it refracted, bending dawn into warm amber stripes. The trash can smelled faintly of peppermint. A street violinist arrived early, put bow to string, and his E-note rang so pure a bus driver clapped from 3 lanes away. The city stirred for real now. Doors opened, shoes squeaked, but not for long. The squeak was a clean, eager sound. Children spotted their faces smiling back from puddles and jumped on purpose, laughing when the ripples made them look like silly water ghosts. Joggers changed routes to chase the most glittering blocks. A florist spilled a handful of roses on the newly polished steps, and even the petals seemed to blush harder. The mayor came down for a photo, but BB-1 turned off its beacon, and the whole squad tucked back into chrome marbles. "We weren't here," BB-1 whispered, "because real heroes don't pose. They polish and move on. But you saw them. In the smudge that isn't there anymore. In the scent of soap that makes your lungs expand. In the way the sunrise has something extra to bite." At 5:59 a.m., the grate on Sewer 9A clicked shut. A pigeon pecked at the edge, unimpressed. Drip's puddle under the streetlight glowed gently, the lantern bubble hovering like a tiny moon. Maybe Drip was thinking. Maybe Drip was changing. Maybe tomorrow night you'll hear the grate again. And maybe, just maybe, you'll set your cup in the trash instead of the curb. Because the BubbleBots can dance, but we can too, in little steps, invisible to everyone except the city that keeps score. When dusk comes tonight, look down. If the sidewalk catches your eye like a wink, if the curb throws you a rainbow, if the bus stop glass shows you a kinder version of your morning face, tilt your head toward Sewer 9A and whisper thanks. Because the city didn't wake up clean. It woke up cared for. If you want the BubbleBots to roll into your neighborhood next like this story and share it with the shiniest friend you've got,